Invite somebody to share. Get ready to start. All right. Uh I've got to do 3 of these today. I'm behind. Haven't done any in a while and I am behind. I am most of these, believe it or not, most of these shows you're going to be able to see on Sony's platform, XOD, Experience on Demand. And I'm behind in terms of what I should have turned in. So I am playing catch up. And in playing catch up, get ready to see me today. All right. So I wanna have a conversation about women who quietly suffer in and from divorce. You know, our world is conditioned for men. Our world is built for men to win. So whenever you have women who suffer or go through some of the same things that men go through, women tend to get the short end of the stick. Now, I hate to say it that way, but that's the reality and that's the truth. And one of the ways is society. We judge women unfairly as it relates in comparison to men. So if a man have 3 divorces, we're okay with that. But if a woman does, we're not. And I want to kind of be a voice to let women know everywhere, first of all, that you're thought of. There are men that pray for you. There are men that care about you, and you're not in this. You're not in this alone. If a man has multiple sex partners, as it relates to maybe 3, 4 sex partners, it's in our world, in society, it's boys will be boys. But if a woman has 3 or 4 sex partners, she's a thought, slut. Her basement is in whoredom. And there's this unfair rap sheet that we give women who go through some of the same things that men go through, but we tend to see and look at them differently, primarily because how we've been conditioned to think. When it comes to divorce, especially when kids are involved, more than likely, in most cases, you have the woman who is left with the responsibility of raising those kids, taking the responsibility of those kids. You have the women who hurt in quiet. They suffer in quiet. They can't really tell people how they feel. They can't really explain or express because they're being judged. Teresa Bryant, good afternoon to you. Rhonda Oliver, good afternoon. Marla Michelle, good afternoon to you. And we primarily unfairly judge women for their position, and we don't give them an opportunity to express their pain because no matter what happens, life goes on, and she is stuck dealing with the pain of the separation, the pain of this divorce, the responsibility of raising the children, keeping the household, going to work, going to school, and she cannot miss a beat. And if she does not perform, then we talk about how sorry she is, or we stick her in a certain category. And some of the things that happens in divorce, for instance, so you have that personal pain, that women deal with, because no one likes failure. And even the failure of a marriage, as much as you probably need to get out of it, you don't feel good about investing your life, your time, your body, your soul, your mind, your money into something that failed. So they carry personal responsibility in terms of their part, their role, maybe. It's even harder for a woman who's done everything that she knew how to do to hold that family together, and it ended in a divorce. But they carry the personal responsibility of not being able to make the marriage work. All right. Then you have the responsibility that comes with it of how do I want to say this? The families now choose sides. More than likely, that man is going to demonize that woman. He's going to tell them the good parts. He's going to try and make himself look like the hero. So now she's isolated and separated from the people that she needs, whether they're her family or not. She needs them, especially if kids are involved. And then you have these families that take bits and pieces of what they heard. Every friend has a best friend, and somebody's best friend has a best friend, and that best friend has a. So now she has to deal with public disgrace. She has to deal with everybody being in her business. And here is the most interesting part of all of these things that she has to deal with. And still nobody raises the conversation to show support towards her. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing this show. Men, I'll never forget when I went through a divorce. I tried as much as possible to keep the pressure off of my ex-wife. But even in my trying, I could not. Because when money got tight and I didn't have it, it's one of the reasons that girl can get anything she wants from me now. When I didn't have it, she had to figure it out. And I never forget, and that did happen, but I never forget, I just lost my job. No, I didn't lose my job. They cut my salary. And man, I barely had enough money to meet my own bills. Now, I've got kids. And I never forget making the decision that I've got to do something different, change my life, because at the end of the day, the responsibility to take care of these kids shouldn't be on her alone. And this is the side of divorce we don't talk about. So now this woman is isolated. She's ostracized. More often than not, she's experiencing financial pressure as a result of trying to manage and maintain. She still got to work. She still got to go to school. She's got to make herself better so she can make more, because she doesn't want to be in a position to have to depend on him. It should be that he would do and take care of his responsibility because these are his kids. But more often than not, the woman has to beg him to handle his responsibility, and she gets tired of begging. Men, we've got to do better. Those are your kids. She shouldn't have to ask you for support. She shouldn't have to ask you to come get your kids because she needs a break. And even when you go through the court system, a lot of times men get behind on child support. They get behind on child support, and getting behind on child support, they don't really understand. And of course, I'm talking about a certain type of woman within a certain type of financial bracket. We know that this is not applicable to all, because there are some women who are winning off child support. I think it was one of them celebrities. He has to pay $130,000 a month. Well, so be it. So be it. But in most cases, this woman that's within this certain tax bracket has to assume responsibility from all sides. Then she's stuck with the children they made together, and she doesn't have the time or space to get away to have me time, or she can't have girl time, because now you got this joker who will not do right by his own kids, or who uses the kids to punish her. And just because the marriage didn't work don't mean you all can't be friends to raise the kids. One of the things my ex-wife and I decided to do a long time ago, hey, the marriage didn't work. That's obvious. But we're going to make our friendship work. We're going to make this relationship work as friends, because the kids are the priority. And you've got churchmen who are supposed to be the leaders in the community, who evade the responsibility of maintaining not only the care for their children, there's still a certain responsibility as men that we have with the ex who's taking care of our kids. No, the marriage didn't work. And you can say you don't owe her, but you do. You owe her respect. That's your kid's mother. I think it's a terrible thing when men bash their ex-wives, their ex-girlfriends, their baby mamas. I think it's a terrible thing. Society erodes when men evade responsibility, and when men leave women open. Mama Cole, hey there. Cynthia Watley, hello. So we have to do a better job by not only accepting our responsibility, taking care of the kids, but even being divorced, brothers, we have to honor the mother of our children and stay in a place where we are living above the bar in honor towards her and those children. Let me tell you the makeup of a broken society. A broken family. You want to know why the community is, there's such a huge gap in the races? Because there's also a huge gap in the family. It's a lack of understanding. The reason people can yell when you say Black Lives Matter, the reason people can yell all lives matter, there's a lack of understanding. There's a breakdown in the family. In order for you to embrace and not hear the cry of those that are hurting, you have to, in some measure, elevate yourself, disassociate yourself, or just plain not understand what the other side is going through. So there always has to be equality inside of you. And a lot of times the equality that you establish within yourself separates you from the compassion, because you cannot identify what's going on the other side. And it happens in divorce as well. It happens in divorce. We separate ourselves from understanding. You got two adults, and I don't want to seem like I'm pounding on the man, but in most cases, the man has the power to do a lot more than we do, but we get in our feelings, we get petty, and we cease to do more because it's our way of striking back. Society is built for men to succeed. I'm going to say it again. Society is built for men to succeed. It's not built for the woman to succeed. She has to work twice as hard, twice as long, and she's still overlooked, rejected. She still doesn't get equal pay because this world is not built for women. Our society is built for men. So being that society in some regard makes it easier for you to survive, you should be that much more compassionate with the woman you used to be married to who's taking care of your kids. That's the conclusion of this part. Thank you all for tuning in. You were born to win, predestined to succeed. There's nothing that can happen to you today that the wisdom on the inside of you is not equipped to handle. You just got to calm down, slow down, be quiet. Let wisdom speak. When wisdom speaks, you will always win. Y'all have a great day. Be productive. And always remember to think higher, speak life. Peace.